Hi, I'm Tommy. If you're not at 216 Creator Studios, this is what it sounds like. Now, if you are at 216 Creator Studios, this is what it sounds like.
Yeah! 216creatorstudios.com.
All right. Welcome back to the Little Black Raincloud Chronicles, and big shout out to Tommy. Anytime I get you guys have heard me say this, anytime I get a chance to pick the commercial or anything like that, I want to see Tommy's commercial.
He's just awesome.
He is. So we're live again today. So, I mean, Nico's fast over there. If there's things he's got to bleep out and such.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. So Nico's over there in the booth doing some producing for us. Thank you, Nico.
Yes. I'm going to be the producer today. And before we get started, make sure you go over to YouTube, 216 Creator Studios, and subscribe. Turn on that notification so you never miss a live stream. You can always listen to Little Black Raincloud.
And if you haven't already, follow 216 in general because they've got some pretty awesome stuff coming out.
Every platform.
Yeah, it was totally blew my mind when Nico's like, "Hey, you guys are on Apple Music and also Spotify and all of these other things." I was like, "That's crazy."
iHeart Podcast now as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So those are all linked in our Facebook, our socials, also 216's socials. So if you haven't already, check it out. All right, let's dive in. So today, if you don't already know what is going on, we are talking about addiction and recovery. And a little side note, Kent just came in here a couple of minutes ago and said you can't have recovery without the addiction. So it really is kind of like, it's that silver lining to that success story.
Yep.
To an otherwise, not great experience. So let's start by, I'm going to introduce my sister and my best friend. This is Jen. Originally from Vegas. We both went to the same high school. Never got in trouble there. We were models of perfection.
A students.
One of us was an A student.
I was going to say, are we sure about that?
One of us was an A student. You can decide which one. What do you think? Who was the A student here?
I'm going to say her.
You would be right.
I think we'd have to check her grades on that.
Oh, they were definitely not A's.
No.
So we're just going to dive in. You ready to dive in?
Definitely. We're here to talk about addiction and recovery today. We definitely have some experience with that going on.
Yep, we do.
I think my first experience with addiction and recovery is the addiction part. And I originally dealt with that when I was about 12 or 13. And my mom came to me and was like, if you're going to drink or do drugs, do them in the house because I don't want a cop to bring you home and me find out that way. And so I started smoking and I was doing weed and drinking. And I remember my brother would come over on weekends because he lived with my father and he would go do beer runs at the corner gas station. He'd be like, go in and act like you're going to get something. And then his friends would all run out with a bunch of beer. And I remember being just this little kid going home drinking beer. And it was definitely a addiction at some point as I became a teenager. It might not have started off with that, but it became one. And I sought help for it in high school. But I think we're going to have a long show, so I'm going to start with the addiction part because I further came into addiction in my 20s when it got into drugs.
Like hardcore. Like we're not talking drugs. Like smoking weed. No. Because, that's legal in most states.
We're talking about heroin, I got married and my husband went off to war and I was pregnant and we lost the baby and then he got injured and I started smoking heroin with my brother. And from there it went on to crystal meth and other hardcore drugs. And now I've been clean for 10 years off heroin and all hardcore drugs since February of 2021.
Yep. Yes, you have.
Congratulations.
Yes, and I encourage everybody to get clean. This is absolutely what we're here about today because no matter how many tries it takes, it took me 13 times going to rehab, but you just never give up and there is a silver lining and it's worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about, I mean, I feel like for everybody, this is a little bit different. So before we dive into these questions, I let's be totally transparent here. A lot of times, when we're talking about things, like the host will say, "Oh, well, let's talk about your experience," and they feel completely like devoid of any empathy because they don't know. Not everybody in my life knows about this. Actually, Jen, who probably knows me better than 99% of the people on this planet, didn't know until the car ride up here that I had an addiction and a problem, definitely a problem with painkillers. So I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show. I have multiple sclerosis, MS, and after I had come out of remission at one point, so this would have been 2018, I came out of remission so badly, and the pain that it's not always painful, but sometimes the pain that comes from MS, whether it's nerve pain or induced by an injury because of not being able to walk at the time. I was in a wheelchair at the time. Didn't have control of my arms. I kind of do this weird T-Rex thing when I'm out of remission. It's actually kind of funny to look back on it. I'm like, I look really cool. Like I'm rad. I'm just like dancing and my arms are like up here. Like I look like a prehistoric animal. But I was in a fair amount of pain. They had done plasmapheresis, which layman's terms is the human oil change. They put a central line in my neck. And much like dialysis, they take all the blood out, they clean your blood, they give it back. But most of the time with dialysis, they give your plasma back too. Plasmapheresis, they don't. They siphon it off, and then they end up with this giant bag. It kind of looks like Corona. I mean, for all the addiction, expertise out there, that's kind of what it looks like. It's got even like a little foam at the top and everything.
Interesting.
And they give you a substitute back, but it comes with a lot of muscular pain, a lot of skeletal pain, because they're literally training your body to reproduce plasma correctly rather than what your body's been doing and fucking off the whole time. It's like, do it right and do it cleanly. So I went through plasmapheresis. That's a 5-day thing in the hospital. There was a lot of things going on that led up to the point that when I was in the hospital, they were really good about it. They were like, "Oh, she's in pain. We're going to make sure she's not in pain because that doesn't lend itself to healing." But then every 4 hours, they were giving me 0.5 milligram of Dilaudid, which for those of you who have never done it, willing or otherwise, I should have been falling off the earth. That's kind of what I felt like. Like the earth was no longer under me. I was not connected to anything. It's a very like existential experience. I didn't love it, but you're like, I'm in space now. Like this is what the 60s felt like. It was very weird. And it's a very short burst high, which I didn't like how it made me feel. What I did like was the pain is gone. That was really nice. That was every 4 hours for weeks on end. Middle of the night, I'm waking up with pain. You hit your button, they come, they give you the thing through the central line, no less. It's not just an IV, it's central line. It's going directly to the superior vena cava. It's like, we're just going to put fuel and like jet fuel into your bloodstream and you're going to crawl up the walls like Spider-Man. So jumping forward, or actually at that point, walking forward, which was really nice. I get home, they don't taper you off. They don't send you home with anything. They're just cold turkey you, which not a pleasant experience for anybody that's cold turkey to anything.
Absolutely.
It could even be caffeine. I don't have enough caffeine and I got a headache.
Just withdrawals in
Yeah,
general are
yeah.
just horrible.
Horrible. So I came home and I thought, okay, I'm trying to science my way out of this problem. Like it was a bad episode of Breaking Bad. I thought, okay, I am withdrawing from the actual medical name of Dilaudid. Besides that is hydromorphone. It's in the morphine and oxycodone category. So I didn't even check any of these terms with you. Am I allowed to say all this? Okay.
Is you're not, just to be clear, you're not promoting drug use or anything.
No, I'm
right?
promoting don't do this
Okay.
because it was a really bad idea.
Well, you heard it there, folks.
Yeah.
And not to mention, right there
Yep,
is the
there's
crisis hotline.
crisis
and a
hotline
text
right there.
number. So if you are
This is
struggling with addiction, go
Yeah.
ahead and text that.
This is such a bad idea. Like, don't do this. This is the example of don't do this. She was being a moron.
There you go.
So I thought, okay, I still have pain meds from when I had my wisdom teeth removed. Other times I had been prescribed pain meds. I had oxycodone 5 milligrams. And that typically would make my head spin. I would be like, most people, I'm ADHD, so most people, when they take a narcotic, they get super sleepy, they chill out. Me, I'm a chatterbox more than I am normally. So take this times like 10. And I just have to tell you everything about everything. I don't know why. So I would take my one and, after I got home from the hospital, and one of those was nowhere near what they were giving me in the hospital. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll take another half. Still having withdrawal symptoms. And I mean, I'm like shaking, I'm sweating, I feel like I'm going to puke. I feel like I'm going to die. Like that's what I felt like. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like my skin itched, like it felt like there were bugs under my
Your skin was crawling.
Crawling, exactly. I felt, it was a disgusting feeling. So I'm like, okay, I'll take another half. So now I'm up to 5, 7.5. I can add.
Wow.
7.5 milligrams. That didn't help. Let's add the other in. So now we're up to 10. My husband's reminding me of things on text. Thank you, babe. We'll get to that too, because that definitely preceded this. So, and it should have been the precursor of knowing that this was a bad idea. So I'm up to 10 milligrams. Then I'm at 20. Then I'm at 30, 40, 50, 60. And then I get to a point where I'm taking 8 of these at a time. Or actually, it was 16 of them at a time because they were only 5s. I'm up to 80 milligrams at a time of oxycodone. And that is the only thing that was helping. And I was taking those every 6 hours minimum. Finally, I'm like, oh crap, I'm not addicted to Dilaudid anymore. Now I'm dependent upon oxy. I traded one bad idea for another bad idea.
Yep.
So at the time, a friend of mine in Vegas, I finally told this person what was going on, and she locked me in her house and took my keys away from me and took my phone away from me for 3 days. My mom knew I was over there all the time. That wasn't unusual. Stayed there for 3 days until finally I had officially thrown up everything I'd eaten in the last year and every ounce of bile I could produce. And I haven't taken one since. Now, I have a little tin of them, and they're in my house, and I have them. And every year on the date that I got clean from these, I open the box. There are 12 in there. I take them out, I count them, I put them back in the box, and I put them away. And if there aren't 12 there, we have a problem. There are still 12 there. I counted them a week ago. And yeah, I don't know that I would ever want anybody to go through withdrawal. Like, there is no high on this planet that would ever make me opt for that again. So I don't know. Have you gone through a cold turkey?
I've gone through withdrawals many times, and that's one of the biggest deterrents they say of drugs is if you don't want to go through the withdrawals again, just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Yes, withdrawals should be enough to keep you away.
Yeah, like if you don't want to go through a ginormous hangover, don't drink.
Oh, and I've had people tell me, "Oh, you just do an aspirin, a Tylenol, and some Pepto-Bismol. It's like the best thing you can do for them. It's just not enough. Just
You're
stay
like,
away."
no, I still feel like death warmed over. You're like, I'm yesterday's leftovers at that point.
Hope, I just want to go back to something real quick
Yeah.
that you were saying, just so the viewers at home that are not really too familiar with recovery and everything. What does it mean to you keeping hold of those oxys and looking at them every single year and as a reminder? What does
So-
that mean?
It's an accountability thing for me.
Okay.
It's a reminder of these were my sins that I take full responsibility for. It's also, I could take them anytime I want. I mean, they do have a shelf life.
Strength thing.
But it's also like, these are my sin.
Okay.
I'm willingly putting them in this box and making them stay there. I put them in their own little like tin of jail. And I don't necessarily suggest this for everybody because everybody deals with things different. A lot of people just get it out of the house, don't have it in the home. Like, you know, lots of people who have had an issue with alcohol, who have become alcoholics that have gone through recovery. They just don't keep alcohol in the house because then it removes that.
And they prefer not to be around alcohol as well.
Right.
So.
See, I don't mind being around people who are addicts because I don't judge them for their addiction. I want them to find the help and to have the resources. But we both know if you're not ready for the help, it ain't going to stick. I wasn't ready. And the only reason that I really feel like Oxy was so easy to get addicted to for me, and that's something my husband just brought up to me, was it wasn't the first med I'd been addicted to. I'd been addicted to Ambien as well. I didn't want to be on it.
I'm with you there. That makes two of us. Yeah. That's so horrible.
And it's like, it was after Dad died. And I wasn't, so we're not going to say it on the show. But, you know, he took his own life. And so instead of being with people, I didn't want to be around people. I wanted to just hide in my room and watch copious amounts of Doctor Who. Got through 50 years of Doctor Who in a very short amount of time. But if I wasn't going out, I wasn't tired. So I wasn't doing anything to wear myself out. So I get to bedtime and I'm still wired for sound. I'm still wide the hell awake. So there's an Ambien. And it started with half an Ambien. And that worked for a little while. Done a full Ambien. I didn't like how it made me feel. And I have chronic nightmares. So now we have a second problem. Not only was I taking too much Ambien, but now I'm sleeping and I can't wake up out of my nightmares. My nightmares I'm stuck in them. And I was sleepwalking. I was having waking, like, night terrors. Totally freaking everybody in the house out. Totally scared the hell out of Mom. It was pretty interesting. I had conversations with people I don't remember having. Mom would ask me, you know, what year is it? And I'd be like, 2004.
No, were you abusing Ambien?
I wasn't intentionally wanting to take the Ambien, but I was definitely taking more than I should have. But the one didn't work anymore, so.
And how did you cold turkey that? Or
Yeah, that was also, it was a different type of withdrawal though. It wasn't the sweats, for me at least. It wasn't like the cold sweats and the hot, cold, and the skin crawling. That one was like several days without sleep. So then I just became sleep deprived and I was kind of a lunatic.
Yeah, I got
Different
really
drug.
irritable off of it.
I mean, I'm irritable normally, but it was even worse. Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, was that your experience?
Yeah, so my experience was I was dumb and I didn't end up quitting it eventually. My body ended up making me quit it. Essentially, I was at a friend's house and I had taken 2 Ambien that morning. It was probably not even 8 a.m. yet.
Okay.
And I had a grand mal seizure in his room because I
Damn.
had overdosed because I had so much other stuff in my system
Yeah.
as well. And I got home and it was like about 24 hours later, and I tried to take half of an Ambien, and then I had a smaller seizure again as well. And then I realized I was, I can't do that. I will die if I continue
Yeah.
to do that. So I ended up stopping that along with the other stuff I was doing, and that's when I really started to change my
Right.
My ways, should I say?
Right,
So,
like
but
that
the
was
withdrawals were, yes,
that
very
sounds
bad.
like the definition of wake up call.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that rock bottom for you right there?
That was second rock bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit rock bottom a couple years before that. I was once again doing a bunch of pills and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and I ended up going to rehab for about a month, and that really kind of got me on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just kind of fell off the deep end again with the whole mental health aspect, and that just put me down in there. So
I just noticed we have a couple of
yes, we do.
Yeah, so
From Deb,
Yeah.
cold turkey is definitely not fun, even cigarettes, and correct that you have to be ready to quit.
Yep,
That is very true.
that's our mom. Hey, Mom.
Thank you.
Dustin also said that yes, in dialysis they clean your blood and they give it back. And he would be he's our resident expert on all things kidney.
Okay.
Having been on dialysis, he was a human oil change for like 10 years.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, you've met Dustin, yeah?
I don't believe I have.
You
Maybe I
didn't-
have.
You might have met him. He was here the one day
Oh,
when
okay.
we were in this room. Yeah, my
Gotcha.
husband.
Hello. Hi, Dustin.
So it's kind of crazy because you find out like there's rock bottom, right?
Yes,
But then rock bottom has a basement.
it does. Yeah.
It's like, wait, how does this have like sub rock bottom? And I can I get into a little bit about how you ended up in Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay. So long story less long, because if we're just going to go down this road, it would take the whole episode. But you had gone to detox and that was 2015, excuse me. 2015. You had come to my house, you asked for help. What were you addicted to at that point?
Heroin and crystal meth.
Okay. And you had said, I want to get clean. Most states, including Nevada and Illinois, require that you go through like a county detox. A lot of places do this now. You have to go through a county detox if you want to get into certain programs.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So they were requiring you to go to a 3-day detox at like Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was like
That type of.
you pull up
place.
and you're like, okay, there's literally dealers across the street just waiting for you to
Mm.
fail. Like it was pretty terrible.
Jeez.
And you went in, you weren't quite ready yet. You left, couldn't find you. You went AWOL on me. She disappeared. She was like a thief in the night. She was completely gone. She was like the wind. She was gone. The part that she didn't see us doing, we're looking for her. We're in the ghetto of ghettos in Vegas, and it's the middle of the night, and I'm like, I'm gonna get shot. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm gonna die down here. We put up posters for you. I blasted it all over Facebook. I kind of put your business out there, but I was like, she can be mad at me all she wants. I just need to find her. And so skipping forward, somebody that I'm not fond of that you're now divorced from. Thank there are miracles, and that divorce was one of them. He told me you were dead. And so I grieve my best friend. I grieve my sister. I'm like, okay, this is a thing that I asked if we could do like a viewing or a celebration of life. He's like, no, we're not doing it. Just put it out there. He's a dick.
Horrible.
And so I skip forward. I leave Vegas. I move out of Las Vegas thinking she's dead. Skip forward 5 years. I get a call on January 17th from a mutual friend of ours. We're going to put him out there. Sam Scheller, Mr. Duct Tape himself, who owns GEMS, which is Guardian Emergency Medical Services.
Okay.
They're a EMT company. They have ambulances, all the
Gotcha.
rigs, things
All
like
right.
that. And they typically do every couple of weeks, they go down to what Vegas calls Naked City, which is basically
Where all the homeless
the
are.
homeless, just, and it's not, you're thinking, oh, there's like one person on the corner asking for a sandwich. No, we're talking thousands of people. And they went down there with like their rigs and stuff, and they would give like flu shots and like medical treatment for different things. I appreciate that he does that. I super appreciate it. And he calls me January 17th and says, I have Jen in my rig. And I'm like, that is not funny, Sam. You are not a comedian. Don't quit your day job. I'm thinking, how do you have Jen in your rig? Did
Right.
you find part of her?
Oh my gosh.
Like I literally, because I'm thinking she's dead, right?
Right.
For the record, she's very much alive, as you can tell.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, she's there.
Proof of life.
Proof of life. And I'm like, I don't believe you. So he puts you on the phone. I mean, were you clean at that point?
no.
Do you remember the phone call?
Yeah.
Okay.
I paid the phone and she was like, Jen, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah. And you're like, how long will it be until you're here? Thinking it's going to be a 20-minute drive. It's a 4-hour plane ride.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm in Chicago, but I'm getting on the next plane. And she did. And I remember I was sitting with my group of friends on the side of a road. And because I had been working for the CDC for a while. I worked for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And then COVID hit. And I lost my house, my job, everything that year.
Wow.
And COVID-19 destroyed part of the CDC. I did the National Immunization Survey, and people went crazy. And so I was sitting with my friends, and Hope comes walking up the very next day, and I just remember feeling this sense of everything changed the minute she walked up, and I just looked at my friends. I was just like, I gotta go now. And I just felt like I walked away from that whole life. And Sam checked my bag and everything, but anything that I had on me or any drugs, I didn't even go through withdrawals. And I had been using some pretty heavy drugs.
Wow.
I changed right at that moment, and I've never gone back.
That's
That
a
was
miracle.
definitely my rock bottom.
Well, and I'm not going to cry on the show. Like I've never cried on the show before. So actually, I don't think I have. I think today will be. This is your fault. I blame you.
I'm not crying.
Okay. Yeah. So we a little backstory and how we got to her sitting on the side of the road with her group. I talked to you on January 17th, and you said, "Are you going to come get me?" And I was like, "I'm coming to get you." And I suggested you go with Sam, but I get it. You had kind of not trusted people for a while, so you're like, "No, I'll be right here when you get here." And I'm like, on that square of sidewalk. And so I touched down in Vegas, the very first flight. I'm like willing to go out of Milwaukee, Rockford, Midway, O'Hare, St. Louis. I don't care. Find me an airport that will stow me as luggage. I need to get to Vegas. I get to Vegas. We had a delayed flight too. I get to Vegas January 18th. So the next day, around 6:30 p.m. That was the fastest I could get there. I'm like, I'll take 17 layovers. Just get me there now. And I say, okay, Sam, I'm here. Let's go ahead and go look. He's like, we don't go there at night. We just don't. And I'm like, I'm mad. I'm like, you're telling a Sicilian woman she can't go somewhere and I can't do something? What the hell? She's out there. It's like January. It's cold. And he's like, she's made it this long. She'll wait till morning. I'm like losing my shit. So he said, be at my headquarters 4 a.m. So I don't sleep that night because I'm like, she's probably cold. She wants thinking that the ASPCA commercial and Jen's the shaking dog in the cage, and I'm like, I need to go get her.
With the sad music in the
background. This cue Sarah McLachlan or Willie Nelson in the background. And so I get there at 4 a.m. and he's like, okay, we're going to he owns the company. We're going to take the chief's vehicle. We're gearing up. He stops on the side of the road in a parking lot, like little ways away from where you were, where he saw you. And he's like, okay, hold on. I got to gear up. And he gets out and he puts a bulletproof vest on. And I'm like,
Wow.
what the actual hell are you doing, Sam? And he's like, they don't trust us because we look like cops. And I'm like, okay, where's my
Yeah, I
vest?
was gonna say.
He says, where's my vest, Sam? He's like, you look like them.
What? Wow.
Chef's kiss of insult, Sam. I will always love you for that. So he's putting all this gear on. We're sitting in the parking lot of Paul Mortuary. The last time you and I were there is when David died. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, let's go back to the place where my guy best friend died, several years before. That's a great idea. Memory lane. Let's get hot dogs next. Go to Chicago hot dogs next.
It's so horrible to be next to Naked City because you sit there and they burn all the bodies and you just get covered with the body ash while you're sitting there.
You're like, this is
Such
Grandma.
a horrible place to have Naked City.
I don't know that there's a good place to have Naked City.
But like the whole time you're sitting there, you just see the ashes are coming
like
out
the
of
stuff that doesn't
crematory.
stay. Oh, that's. Thanks.
Wow.
I needed that in my life.
I just thought I'd share that while we were on. So you met him at Paul Mortuary.
Yeah, well, so we stopped there, and then he hands me this walkie-talkie, the CB radio, and he said, "We're on 9," and I'm like, "I have a cell phone. Just call me." He's like, "Keep your cell phone in your pocket. It will get stolen." I'm like, "Okay." They literally have nothing. I'm thinking, "Oh, that makes sense." I'm like, I'm not even mad that they'd steal it, but I get it. Like, keep your cell phone in your pocket. He's like, actually, we're going to put it in the glove box. So we did that. He's like, we're on 9. I'm like, okay. He's like, say it again. I'm like, we're on 9. All right. I hear you. Like, calm down here. Skid Row, you're a little much here right now. I'm thinking this is not a big deal. We're literally going to a food pantry or something.
Right. He's acting like you're gearing up to go to war.
Well, now I get it because we pull up and first we talk, there's fences keeping them on one side. Like they can go other directions, but they can't come this one direction. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like The Walking Dead. Like there's fences and there's literally just not tens, not hundreds, but thousands of people that have nowhere to go and they have nowhere to be. So they're just milling around.
Wow.
Like a scene from The Walking Dead where they're just like in groups, kind of schools of fish, but slowly.
Just apocalyptic looking almost.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. And so they had these sanitary stations that had porta potties, which I understand that there's a need for that. If there's not a bunch of bathrooms, like bring them out. And like the little foot pump sinks, place isn't sanitary. There's just puddles of dripping things that aren't clean water. And it's just waste everywhere. And there was, I will never be afraid of another horror movie because of what I saw down there. And finally, I hear him on the radio, Hope, come back to where we were. Okay, so I turn around. I'm like, I shocked back into my body kind of thing. And I come up and you're just sitting there on the ground with your little circle of people. And she stood up and I hugged her for like a minute and a half because I didn't believe it was actually her. But it was, and there you were, and here you are. And she's been clean since February of 2021.
Oh.
Yeah. Completely sober. Boom.
That's amazing.
So.
Thank you.
So if anybody tells you, we do a lot of federal funding for homeless, and there's a lot of resources out there.
Okay.
They can kick rocks. There's not enough. And until it's your sister out there, I know we're talking about addiction and recovery, but a lot of times this is where it leads. How many people out there did you meet that were addicts?
A lot. I actually, was sitting on the side of the curb one day, and we're sitting there, and I'm just sitting on top of a box smoking crystal meth. And right out in the open, and the security guy from Catholic Charities walks by, and I'm like, oh shit. And I went to put down, he's like, don't even worry about it, honey. And he just kept walking. He's like, you're already homeless.
That's just the norm.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do to you?
But when he came by, I went to put it down, and it was just so normal to him. He's like, don't stop doing what you're doing. Just go ahead and keep it up.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm glad he didn't razz you or if I'm sad that
I
that's
was
the
surprised
norm.
he didn't razz me. I was very shocked by his. I don't know why. Now I got tears going.
Oh,
Oh, it's fantastic. My
great.
mascara's running.
Well, you know.
But
It's a
no,
good
that's
thing.
one of the
It's
things
really good.
about those places with people, homeless people. If addiction didn't bring them there in the first place, they are more likely to end up getting addicted to substances because they're always around it and they're in that negative headspace usually. So.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about the mental health aspect of it? Is that okay? So I've found, and it's so many times you hear this story that how many times have you ever met a person who has, and nobody's life is perfect, but an otherwise normal or perfect or closer to perfect life, and they've gotten addicted to something. How many happy people do you find are actually addicted to something? It doesn't happen all that often. It's usually trauma has struck. Family members are already addicted to something. Bad shit's happening in the world, and it becomes that escape. Do we have a tissue? Tissue. We're getting real up in here. Shit's real now. But things, you look at people that are super addicted to different things, and you're like, did you just wake up one day and say, my life is really good, I think I'm going to try cocaine today? Or, hey, I'm having a really good day, let's get, completely obliterated with heroin. Like, nobody says that when they're having an otherwise good day. If they're not stressed about something, heroin's not the first thing you turn to. You're like, I think I'm going to have a chai this morning. I'm not going to go out back and find some black tar heroin. That's not the general progression. So a lot of times you'll find that people with things that are going on, whether it's trauma, mental health, depression in general, want an escape. Or it's a means to an end. Like for me, it was, I don't want to go through this pain. So this is going to take the pain away. It actually caused more pain in the long run, but...
That's one thing I've just learned recently in my life skills classes. I live at a group home, and it's actually a facility that holds 100 people, and we do classes and life skills, and one of them is a recovery class that I still go to.
Yeah.
And they let us know, even though drugs will sometimes relieve symptoms, they are not a long-term option, and they just make it worse in the end. And they become more of a problem because they cause symptoms themselves, and then you got to deal with your psychological symptoms and your drug symptoms. So it is never a good solution to put drugs on top of psychological symptoms.
Right. It's like a Band-Aid for an arterial bleed.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh yeah, I have, there are people who, whether they're dissociative personality disorder, whether they're anywhere on the schizophrenic spectrum, like schizoaffective, schizophrenic, whether it's the 3 types of schizophrenia, whether it's any of the things like that, borderline personality disorder, depression, anxiety, all of these different things, you're like, I'm trying to run from these mental demons. And this is the one thing that shuts them up, except for the fact it's causing other demons on top of them. And they're not quiet forever. They're quiet for a minute. They're quiet for an hour, or the longevity of the high. But then there's the coming down off of the high, and now they're screaming. So do we go get the mental help that we need and see if we can work with them and realize that they don't have to be screaming, or that they're not real and they're not screaming, or that they're not real and they're screaming, and we're going to figure out how to work with that. We're going to find actual medication that helps those things. Or are we going to medicate them temporarily and then they come back like a Category 5 hurricane? I think the mental health avenue takes more time to figure out. It's not a, and I'll, we're going to take, here's a Xanax and everything's going to be fine. That's not how it works. Like, you have to find those balances. Everybody's body is different. But would you say that that's probably the better solution long term?
Yeah, I definitely need to seek mental health.
Yeah.
Take long term.
I don't know if we have a mental health thing. I'm looking at
In the description, there are multiple links and
Yeah.
numbers. So if you need help of any type, you just go right into the description or just go on over to Google and search for that crisis number. We have 2 comments from Dustin. The first one, Rock Bottom Basement has a turnstile that makes the snack tray spin.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there were snacks in Rock Bottom, but I imagine they're probably drugs.
Yeah, it's code. It's code.
Yeah, they're like, drugs, ma'am?
And then the second one, question for Jen. During all of this, and this was during when you're talking about the road of your addiction, during all of this, did people try to exploit you?
No, I don't think so.
So it wasn't like, I'm wondering,
How do you feel exploited?
I feel like maybe he's thinking like somewhere along the line, like while you were out there, like with everybody else, do you feel like you ever were taken advantage of by other people out there, or you just kind of formed your own community?
No, I usually always had a good friend on my shoulder.
Okay.
Even when I got down to my lowest point, I always got my God shirt on today because I think God's always kind of had an angel on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And so even in my hard times, I found someone.
That's good.
And that was always good to me.
That's awesome. Well, and gems, that I call that the angel we needed then.
Guardian Angel Elite.
Yeah, he
Shout out to Sam. Double shout out to the Rockin' EMT.
Yes. If it weren't for the fact that you happened to be right there and he happened to know you, like that was a series of a bunch of events that came up to that point. That really like
perfect event.
Yes. Jen's in my rig and I'm like, shut your filthy mouth.
Oh.
So we've got a couple minutes left, but what are some of the things you would tell people who aren't ready yet? Like what does ready look like? I mean, is there a perfect moment or is it just you'd make that choice?
No, ready can look like a million different things. And I think if there's ever anybody out there that's struggling, just make yourself ready a million different times if that's what it takes. But just keep trying because it can take 10, 15 different times to quit, but there's always going to be an answer. And so ready can look like 5 times, ready can look like 1 time. And 1 time, sometimes people get it, that's the best. But if it takes a few times, don't get discouraged because the more you try, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
Definitely just keep trying, get clean, stay away from drugs, have fun, get out there. Life is so much fun. I get high on life now. And high on life is a real thing. Go out and seek it out because high on drugs and high on life are the same thing. You just got to get out there and find it.
Right. It's just a healthy version that doesn't cause the backlash afterwards.
I get hyper and happy now for no reason whatsoever. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best way to do it, though. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's, something that could do that for you, but why do the crash afterwards? It's like the happy without the crash.
Yep.
And I do want to encourage if anybody is out there on drugs and looking at getting clean, look into rehabs and that as well, because some things like barbiturates and alcohol, you do need to be in a medical setting, and they do have deadly withdrawals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Like you want to make sure
medical help,
right? That you've got like if for some reason your withdrawal is coming with some like medical complications, that you have something that's going to keep your blood pressure stable, keep your fluids where they should be, make sure your heart's doing what it should do, and get that help. So, I mean, let's face it, you went from, and everybody that knew you's mind, dead. We thought you were dead. And here she is. She's very much alive. She is clean and sober for 5 years, almost 5 years now. And you're living life. And you're going back to school here soon is what you're trying to do, yeah? Sorry if I was ruining a surprise.
That is what I'm working on doing.
Thank
you so much for having me on the show today.
Well, thank you for being alive. Thank you for being alive.
My sister, everyone.
So The number will get up there one more time, that if you need help, text help to 833-234. You can call their number. You can, if you're looking for psychological help, you can go to psychologytoday.com. That's where I found my therapist. And they're all fantastic. Like they can get you the help you need. And honestly, if you're in crisis and you can't remember all those numbers, try 911, because they have the training too. You can also, there's a program now that most hospitals carry Narcan if you're needing it. If you need it, there are like drop spots where you can go get it.
McHenry County College also has a Narcan machine, a Narcan vending machine.
So do all Advocate hospitals now.
Yep.
All their ERs. There's one at Sherman Advocate Hospital. They have a Narcan dispenser there. You can get it. I carry one, just having it at home in case of, you never know when you're going to, I'm not on drugs, but you never know when it
could be a complete stranger.
Yeah. Yeah. You have it in your first aid kit if you need it, that kind of thing. Don't take it unless you feel like you're really going to need it, because there's going to be people that do need it. But thank you for listening in. And if you need resources, please look on the web. They're there. Send us an email. We are rainclouds@gmail.com. We'll find you some resources. Link is below as well, because Nico's fantastic and he does all of the things computer. And also thank you to Nico for producing us today. And
of course,
we are back next month. I have no earthly idea what the schedule is for next month. I think it might be child abuse. We're not going to do child abuse, but we're going to talk about child abuse. Yes.
We always have to make sure.
Yeah, we have to double check. But all right, everyone. We're out.